Elsewhere, the Salaries and Remuneration Commission has directed all public service institutions to submit their data on all allowances paid to their employees with an intention to restructure them. SRC Chair Mengich says that the move is intended to harmonize allowances paid in the public sector, where some employees are paid allowances way higher than their basic salary. SRC also told governors and members of county assemblies that they have no power to allocate themselves any retirement benefits as contained in a draft bill. Let's get more details now from Sam Gituku.
Monthly benefits amongst employees in the public sector are as diverse as the institutions they work for. The proportion of allowances to gross salary varying between 43% to 259%. The basic pay determines the pension contributions for employees, meaning persons with similar jobs at different institutions could be treated differently. It is for this reason that the Salaries and Remuneration Commission seeks to harmonize the allowances. SRC says at the moment there are some institutions that pay allowances as a percentage of basic pay, while others pay the same allowances in absolute amounts. To facilitate the harmonization, SRC has directed public institutions to submit their allowances data by the end of November for review and advice by April next year.
Public service institutions shall submit to SRC all allowances payable and await setting, review and advice by SRC, and B, allowances that are currently obtaining shall continue to be paid until SRC issues an advisory.
In the financial year 2020-2021, 874,000 persons were employed in public institutions. The wage bill was 893 billion shillings, while the pension component was 92 billion shillings. In the financial year 2018-2019, out of a total of 795 billion shillings in wage bill, 322.5 billion shillings comprised allowances. The pension cost was at 70 billion shillings. SRC has now released guidelines that will see all allowances paid by public institutions set, reviewed and advised by the Commission. The basic salary will progressively account for 60% of the gross salary. All allowances will be paid in absolute figures and no longer as a percentage of the basic pay. For allowances mirrored in the basic salary, they will be scrapped. With the guidelines, no public institution will be allowed to pay higher amounts in allowances based on their ability to pay. Facilitative allowances like subsistence allowances will be guided by SRC. All redundant or duplicate allowances will be scrapped, while allowances will not form basis for calculating pension contributions. Job-related allowances will eventually be scrapped. They include extraneous allowances, responsibility allowances, and special responsibility allowances. Instead, the amounts will be converted to the worth of a job.
Job-related allowances are paid to enhance salary. They account for the greatest proportion of allowances in the Kenyan public service. This category of allowances is expected to fall off once the relative worth of a job is appropriately determined.
SRC Chair, however, assures that no existing employee will lose their total gross pay.
If it is contractual, then the answer is yes, you cannot remove that allowance. But it means you relook at the basic pay and see how much of that should actually shift to basic pay. However, remember we mentioned the impact on pension. If the impact on pension is so big that it's unaffordable, then it does not make sense to do that straight away. It may be one of those that we are saying progressively harmonized or progressively restructured.
According to SRC, categories of allowances allowed will include house allowance, commuter allowance, task-related allowance for those carrying out responsibilities outside their scope. SRC has also warned county governors, MCAs, and their speakers against awarding themselves retirement benefits through a draft bill submitted to all county assemblies.
They do not have the mandate at all to set their own benefit. The Commission has given its guidelines to them on what they need to do. And your question is there anything we can do for now? At the moment, that bill has not been passed.
The bill proposes to award retired governors, deputy governors and county speakers a lump sum payment and lifetime pension and maintenance at the cost of the counties. Sam Gituko, Citizen TV.